Hey guys, myself Sayyid Azim. I'm a computer science undergrad from Keat University, and today I'm basically going to discuss various components of a sample website whose front end I recently created without any JavaScript, just CSS, HTML, and SASS. So, what is SASS? SASS is basically CSS but better. SASS is in general super amazing style sheets written in slightly different ways, eliminating colons, semicolons, and curly brackets. The idea, yeah, the idea is that SASS after its completion is then compiled to basic CSS and imported into your HTML style sheet link component. Further, I also used Parallax effect in my website, which I will discuss in detail. Also, there are a bunch of sample things in HTML which are used but don't look good and appealing. The main task of a front-end developer is to make these components appealing, like cool search boxes, forms, etc. Okay, so this is right here is the sample website I created last night. Here it have a header on the top, right? And in this header, let's see what are these components and how I achieved them. Okay, first is a logo, which is simply a small resolution image that contains your website name on it, and there are a bunch of websites out there where you can create your own logo. So when I place my cursor on it, its edges glow. So this is basically done using hover effect in CSS. So let's say that we gave a class name logo to a logo aesthetic code, right? And gave all the CSS properties to it. Once you are done, use dot logo colon hover. So it will and then curly brackets. So the browser knows that these are to be carried out when someone hovers your logo. Okay. Now inside the hover CSS of your logo, in that we'll use box shadow property, which have four basic inputs. First is the color of the glow, second and second is the x coordinate of the glow, third is the y coordinate, and fourth is the blur and the size of the glow, right? So when the glow is hovered like this, so when I say that 0 0 10 pixel and initially white, so white 0 0 10 pixel, I mean that white light or white glow of 10 pixel comes around the logo and it's exactly behind it with 0 comma 0 coordinate. Next on my header I have four links. Okay, so next in my header I have four links: home, login, sign up, feedback, right? So I used hover effect on them as well, and this time there are a bunch of other changes that you can do while hover. Any attribute you can change. So I change the background color to white, as you can see while I hover on it, right? And slightly increase the font size to 2 pixels. So it looks like that when the link is hovered, the links are popping out when I'm hovering on them. Okay, see this feedback, this looks bigger. When I hover on it, login becomes bigger, home becomes bigger. So that's because I increase the size of the box to 2 pixels. So it looks like that the links are popping out when I'm hovering on them. So that's that. And what happens when I click on login? Okay, when I click on login, it exactly takes me to the my login and sign up, right? Here's this sign up and there is login. Okay, so and these are bunch of cool search boxes. Okay, these are text boxes, right? I have modified them into emails and this cool effect, right? We will explain this in later. We will hear about it later. So we'll explore further, but for now this is done. When I click on login or sign up, it will take me to that exact place where it is, right? Now how is that done, right? Okay, so here I have my login and I'll take you to the CSS. Wait a minute. So here I have my icons and okay, in my HTML, these are bunch of text, random text created by lorem 1200. Okay, so see this href hashtag login. Okay, So what I did, the part of the web page which have my login, I named the ID attribute of that specific part which contains my login menu. I named it login, right? I gave it an ID. And when I say href hash login, it means it will take me to the part of the website with the ID login. And then when I click on login, it will take me to the hash login. Okay. So that's how it's done, right? So let's say that the part of the my website which holds the login, I gave it a ID login. Okay. So okay. Now we have a cool search bar here. Now see, it's simply a single 2 pixel black line on which I can write, right? Like this, I can write a bunch of text, and it's basically a search box, but it appears like a single line, right? On which I can write. And when I hover on it, it turns red, which you can do now as you know how to use hover, right? But how do you convert a plain looking boring text type box into this, this? For that, we will give this input tag a class. Okay, let's say search box, right? Now the CSS includes first making the border style as solid and then setting the background color exactly as that of our header section. So it cloaks itself as a blank. It looks like that there is no box there, but there is a text area as we have cloaked itself, cloaked the box with the header color, right? But then we use border bottom attribute to be 2 pixel black to finally get this. And then simply using CSS hover, we can change that to red 3 pixel border bottom. And after you have created all the components of the header, you can position them as you want using position, right? I usually use a relative positioning, and which is basically too good for me and easy and really great. You can just set left and top and etc, and then defining whatever you want it to be placed from left, bottom, right, top, etc, etc. Now let's come to the important part. What is parallax effect? So when you insert and resize an image into your web page using HTML img tag or CSS background URL attribute and scroll, it moves along with the other components, right? So what if I say that when you scroll through your website, the image stays at its place and other components go from above of it as if floating. An image is as stagnant as ocean bed. A little poetry there. So let's see, you see, when I scroll, the image as whole does not move, but the next text white component float right from of it. Okay, like this. So you see that this image, in the background, it stays like an ocean bed, and this white text, it will just float on it like water. See, and when that white text ends, the image is changed. See, the image is from a man changed into a leaf. Now the next comes this, right? The image also changes. Once the text floats over it, the ocean bed or the parallax changes, right? Let's see. When I scroll, the image as a whole does not move, but the next text white component float right from of it. Okay. Okay, to achieve this, first let's see the basic CSS behind it. The main attribute used in this is first you call the image or insert the image using background URL linked to the image. Then, okay, let's see the CSS behind it. Okay, and I use Sublime Text as it is too comfortable for me, right? Sublime Text is like the best out there. It saves much of your time with the predefined functions and methods, which can save much of your time. Okay, let's see, style.css icon. Where is my search icon, search box, main body? Okay, see, first I inserted my image, first image as aesthetic.jpg. Okay, this is the location, and then gave a specific height. Now this background attachment fixed. So when I say background attachment fixed, it fixes my image, the aesthetic.jpg as a ocean bed, which I was saying, right? And these are bunch of other attributes which you need to do, say background position, center, background repeat, no repeat, background size, cover, right? Which are basically to ensure that one white text component passes by, the image of the parallax changes. As I showed you earlier, when I was changing, when this white text was floating while scrolling, the image changes to this leaf, right? How do we achieve that, right? Okay, so the image of parallax change, the immediate HTML component after this is a white text component with a bunch of LOREM 2400 generated random text. And then I repeat last two things, which are the image and the white text, 2 or 3 times. Change the URL of the image every time. So I made 6 7 components. First component is this image. I fix it, and then this white text, and then again a different image, and then I fix this, then a different image, and then I fix this. So what happens when one white component passes by, the image changes, but it looks like the water is changing, the ocean bed is changing, but the water is floating by, right? Okay, so this looks cool, and further see how you can make even more cool login and sign up box using multiple parallax techniques. Okay, so here's the text login. Okay, I'll just click on it. Okay, so this is my login. This looks really cool while I hover on it, right? Oh, sorry, while I scroll through it. See, I'll scroll to it. You can see. So see how this is how cool this looks while scrolling. I achieved this using multiple parallax. Okay. Okay. So this gives a really cool effect while scrolling, and the text boxes here have the same CSS properties as last text box. The search box. These. Okay. Now here's a cool. Okay. Huh. Okay. Using multiple parallax techniques. So here's the text login is covered with first image parallax. Okay. This image. This is one single image. Okay. This image behind sign up, that's one single image, and it is covered with the third image. So there are three images acting as three different ocean beds floating on top of each other and forming a multiple parallax, which looks good while scrolling, right? Okay, so sign up text here is covered with another parallax image, and the entire login sign up box contains parent parallax image. So this gives a really cool effect while scrolling. Okay, so next we have a cool footer to our website. Obviously, every website have a header, main body, and the footer, right? So it's like a proper closure. So it contains bunch of components which you already know. They are just styled, but in order to actually get the feedback, okay, let's see if I can show you. Okay, so okay. So in this we have a code here which actually glows just like the last our ID, and there are 4 buttons: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google. These are links, and we have our aesthetic code copyrighted to 2020. We have 3 links here: home, contact, feedback. And when I say share your ideas, when someone writes their email here and write what they want to share with us, what happens, right? So when someone says that, it's so basically the href attribute in input submit HTML of this submit button will have mail to attribute, mail to to your website. So it sends the mail directly without the need of a backend. So that was it. That was the front end website with parallax, hover, and other cool components. I hope you like the video. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope you like the video. Meet you in the next one. Till then, eat, sleep, code, and repeat.